that's the girl. But you know something else that I really love about this song is that it's called Mumei, so it's about me. Well, it has basically a lot of what I feel. Very clear theme of the song in the MV is loneliness. I mean, Mumei is alone in a world. There's no people. She's like, where the heck is everybody? Also, you remember how I said when I was younger, I was told this isn't just me thinking this is how people saw me. I was told this. I was just like a shadow in a hoodie because I didn't really talk. I didn't really have any presence, but inside I was like, man, I wish I talked more. Man, I wish I wasn't so nervous around people. Man, I've been like in places in my life where I had friends, I was close to family and stuff. I've also had times in my life where like I've been completely by myself. And I didn't want to be by myself. It sucked. I didn't want to be. It's one thing, you know, if you're by yourself and you're like, yeah, I'm chill with this. But I was like, I am by myself and I don't know how to change this. It feels bad. Especially when you feel like you're around people a lot, but really you are by yourself. I mean, sure, you could probably talk to the people around you, but just be like, hey, how's your day? Hi, nice to meet you. But times during COVID too. But even before COVID, I was alone. I think a lot about those times. But also there are times where even when I like lived with family, I was very lonely. I had civilization duties. That place you go before civilization duties. It didn't work out. And I dropped out really, really soon after because of the social. Well, there were a few factors. But a big one was the social factor. I was kind of freaking out. And I know a lot of people get scared and stuff when they first move away and everything. But no, I was like, honestly, I look back at that and I think to myself, I should have just sucked it up a bit more. But unfortunately, I let the thought of, oh my gosh, I do not want to waste money. I was there for very little time. I was like, what if I'm like only here for like a year? That'd be such a waste of money. I don't want to waste people's money. I don't want to waste people's time. So sometimes I look back and I'm like, man, I wish I didn't do that because maybe things could have gone differently. But the past is the past. It is what it is. But that time afterwards, oh my gosh, that sucked. I didn't have many friends at home before I left, but like none of them were there. Because they also left. I remember. I was like, shoot, what are you supposed to do? At that time, at least I wasn't completely alone because I lived with family. I had Mother Owl. But I just remember the times when Mother Owl would not be around, like she'd travel. Oh my gosh, what do I get? Would I get sad? There's nowhere for me to be and nothing for me. Like, wow. One of my lowest points of loneliness during that time period was when Mother Owl went on a trip and I asked if I could go. But for pretty valid reasons, I couldn't go. And I just remember because I was like the first time I asked and I was like, I see. And I think all of us now or at least most of us were forced to experience this kind of loneliness because of COVID. I mean, there's different degrees of loneliness. Like, I felt lonely even when I had like, you know, people online to talk to. But I feel like most of us will go through a time in our lives where we feel that. Something I realized, because I was kind of sick of feeling lonely, I've come to appreciate the aloneness. I read that in a book. Turn your loneliness into aloneness, which I think is hard to do. And I was really trying to do it for a long time, but I feel like now, without even trying, I that's kind of how I feel. I'm not really alone though. Like I am, but I'm not. Depends what you consider. Like if you were to go up to a normal person and be like, yeah, I have no IRL friends, but I have friends online, they'd be like, wow, that's really sad. Like most people would think that. If you go to your parents, most people will be like, that's really depressing. You should try to make real friends or something. I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have online friends. I would have been even more lonely. I think there is some truth though to it being good to have people IRL. I don't know. It depends how you are. as a person. Even now, like sometimes now I'll be a little down because I'm like when I go to Japan, I'm not down when I go to Japan, but it just makes me realize, like, imagine if like I had the Holo girls nearby, like how JP and ID, like we have each other, but not in person. Like, I think it is true that there is a big difference between, you know, being online friends and being IRL friends. Like what we get to do together in person and how we spend time, like you bond in different ways. I'm not saying it's I'm not saying one thing is better than the other. Some friendships just work better as online friendships. I think that's can be true. But when you, with the other members, when you meet and you realize, oh my gosh, it would be nice. Then I get a little sad, but not too sad because we have each other online. This is something I've thought about too. With Hololive, it's such an interesting job. I feel like Hololive is really special because you form these bonds with the other members and stuff, but it's like, oh my gosh, like Hololive, if you're in Hololive, it probably takes up like 90% of your life. Like whether you want it to or not, it's just on your mind. But then you have that though with your friends. How many jobs do you have like with good friends, you know? Like your good friends are there. So I think that's very special. I feel so lucky to have a job like that. I won't tell you how to interpret it. Even though the song is about Mumei, I think a lot of people can put themselves in as Mumei and still relate to it and stuff. That's why I started talking about loneliness, because like we've all experienced this kind of thing, right? Or like a lot of people experience this kind of thing, right? Like sure, you're not experiencing being the only person left on Earth and, you know, walking into ghost towns like Mumei and not finding anything or anybody. Like sure, it's not that bad, but you can still relate and kind of, I don't know, maybe see yourself in little Mumei looking around. Are you ready to continue our story? We've got all the time in the world. Hug, 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 hug. Thank you! I'm glad I got to share this small token of my appreciation with you all. Thank you to the Humans, Hololive, and many other fans who showed their support. And of course, a big thank you to me, Mumei. You've created something special that we'll always remember for a long time. You're part of many people's lives now, even though nothing lasts forever. No, don't make me cry! Don't make me cry! Don't make me cry. Even though nothing lasts forever, we're all grateful for the wonderful memories you've given us, and will continue to give us hopefully far into the future. You've cultivated a loving community where I know many people have found a home. Be proud of what you've accomplished. Thank you. I don't let myself think about sentimental things too much, because I get a little overwhelmed thinking about it. Stuff like that, that for 2 years I've been here, and I get to do this, and that. And